Hello everybody, I'm SJ and welcome back to Create Above and Beyond. Today I'll be going over my full setup for getting the Andesite machine automation done in the first stage of the pack. I don't have the machines themselves fully automated because you do need a brass machine to make a crafter, so we'll have to get into that later, but you kind of want to have the precision, or the mechanisms automated, so that you can create so you have them in hand, because you're going to need them to go to the next stage, because you're going to use them and not the andesite machines themselves to create the next step in going up, which would be like either the sealed mechanisms or the precision mechanisms, which you need for the brass machines, and so on and so forth, which goes up the stage. So get some of the create stuff out of the way first. So what I did do is I did do quite a bit of adventuring. I found a roguelike dungeon, went down and completed that. That's why you see this mishmash of armor that I've actually got on now. But fared pretty well down there. Died twice just because it's been a long time since I've done any adventuring down there. But a diamond helmet, mending breastplate, so it's golden, so it's only +5, but that's fine. Some decent iron leggings because there's quite a bit of strays and skeletons down there, and then just some mad diamond boots on my feet there. And as well, I've got a bunch of stuff still to go through, either use, combine, enchants, or just throw back into my smeltery. So lots of goodies there. Goodies. Found something like color detector out of some randonium ore. So this maybe, if you want to do some different automation with some of your rails, then maybe would be something to do. I'm not 100% sure, but found that anyways. Diamond horse ardor, definitely pick those up, because once you get some blazing blood in your smeltery, then you can melt that down and it'll give you 7 diamonds out of it. So it's good just to have around, even if you're not going to be using horses in any way, shape, or form. But the other, like the iron and the gold, can just be melted down in a smeltery, so you'll definitely want to get this together. The controller does take some of the sealed bearings, which you just need to put some of the cured rubber around a regular kinetic mechanism. So you take 1 kinetic mechanism, 2 cured rubber, and that'll give you the sealed mechanism. And that's what you need to create that, but all the rest of it's just your standard tinker stuff. And then I've got this set up here, because the way we mix liquids in this pack is with the mixer here. So I had also went to the Nether to get myself some soul sand to help with my water wheels, because you can get a little bit more bang for your buck is there, and also made myself a cobalt pickaxe as my tool, and I've started getting the lucky modifiers on it, so that I give myself some fortune there. And we'll just go over this quickly. So you just need a blue flower, a couple of copper ingots, and some lapis blocks, and then you put that in your anvil. Now I do suggest with this anvil, it doesn't tell you here, but it's just zinc. So most of the tinker's anvils require some kind of blended thing. So slime steel, tinker's bronze, rose gold, all of these needed some sort of mixing. But if you use just zinc, there's a ton of it around, super easy to get. So this is definitely the one that you want to build to get your upgrading anvil going, and here you can make the bigger tools as well, but I haven't gotten into any of that just yet because I'm still kind of in the collecting resources mode. But anyways, back to the luck modifier. So there, luckier, just needed a golden carrot, a couple of gold ingots, and some ender pearls. But then luckiest, well, we needed two things. Rabbit's foot, which I killed almost 20 rabbits, I think, before I finally got a rabbit's foot out of it. So that is what it is, just kind of something to do. A name tag, which you'll find lots of if you're doing adventuring, a diamond, and then now we're going to need, I'll go over it with you guys here, to gold or rose gold ingot. So rose gold ingot, you cast it out, and then to make it, like all this stuff, you know, it's just going to show you melting down rose gold if you have it already. But the way to find it is in the mixer. You need a copper and a gold in there. So what we're going to do, and we could just do it with the baby one here, but I've got the big one already made anyways, so let's go and do that, do it in there anyways. So I've got nothing in there, so we'll put in a copper and a gold, and we'll let that melt up, and yeah, I'll pass the night here in a quick pause, so be right back. Alright, here we are. So our gold and our copper are melted up. So if you've got other things in there, then you just have to make sure whatever you want to drain out is on the bottom, and it also kind of gives you, you can kind of see which metal is there. You can't look at it in JEI or in Wayla there at all, but you can kind of see the color of it there. So we need some mechanical pumps and fluid pipes. These are pretty easy to make. You can just search them in JEI. And I don't have this set up to regular power just yet, so I'm just going to use a hand crank to do all of this. So I've got this flowing out, and I've got this one set so it's flowing in. If you just want to switch it, you just kind of click on it with your wrench to flip which way it's going. So what I'll do is I'll put that on there. And maybe I was going the wrong way. Yeah, so we got one, we got the copper out, so I'm just crouching to make it spin the other way. If you uncrouch, then it'll spin it one way. So we got both of them in there, so if I shift on there, I should be able to see what's in there. Oh, I know why. I do not have my handy-dandy goggles on, so they should be in here. So we can see we've got one ingot of each copper and gold in there. Oh, I'm going to need my spinneroonie. And I just got to attach it to this cog here. Mix and mix and mix. It's still working. There, it's done. So now we've got our rose gold. If you had power hooked up, you could do this all automatically, I'm guessing. There we go. Now I've got our rose gold in there. Got some leftover iron from melting down armor in there. So yeah, see I was melting down some gold and some... Oh, and I forgot I need 2 of these, so I'm going to do that all again, and I'll bring you guys back when it's all done. Alright, so we got her all together. We're just going to put our tool in. And we see here we've got over slime, lightweight, luckier. And then the final product, over slime, lightweight, luckiest. So that gives me now the tier 3 fortune, so we'll be getting more returns when we do mine anything out of there. So that's the big advancement that I do suggest getting there. And then as for the over slime, it's just kind of like free durability there, and it recharges itself together. I think you can get more slime on there some way or another. I haven't looked too far into it, but that was just using some of the wood from the slime trees. So I just used the green heart planks to make my tool handle out of that, and I think the binding on it is still just stone. Yeah, stone bound 1, so that means the binding on it's still stone. I haven't even figured out how to optimize my tinker's tools yet, because it's really not that important, but we are going to go over everything for age 1 here. So in the manual here, it's kind of reversed. So if you go from right or from left to right, it's wood, then stone, then sand, then then kelp. But you really kind of want to do it setting up going from left or from right to left. So you want to start from the kelp side and then work your way this side, work your way to the right for putting it all together. So we start with a kelp farm. This I think is the bottleneck right now. It was my clay generation, but I added a second strainer over there, which that will bring the bottleneck back to kelp, I believe. Stone could be, but it's all going very slow, but I'm playing the pack really slow, so it's not too big of a concern one way or the other. So what I have here at the bottom there is a windmill bearing, then the radial chassis there, some sails which just make it go around by itself without needing to put power into there, because we've got two different ways to do these contraptions. So the windmill bearings, what I'm using down there, and in another place I've got the mechanical bearing. If you're using the mechanical bearing, you do have to supply it with mechanical power at some point along the way, right? But here, using the windmill bearing, I've just got it just using the blank sail frames, which I dug up from one of those broken down windmills that I found out in the world. So I didn't even have to do to even make those. I already had them on hand. We've got the mechanical harvesters on those, which is just an andesite machine in a stone cutter. It gives you 2 for each one. And then to get it out of the machine, you do have to make sure you've got an inventory in the machine there somewhere. And then I've got this, it's a portable storage interface, and you just, again, in the stone cutter, you put a machine in there, and it's one of the choices. You'll get 2 out of it. It's good because you need 2 of them. You put one down attached to your machine, and then 1 block away you have your other one. And then I've just got a hopper going into a chest with these andesite funnels to export automatically out of there. And then that goes into a mixer to get your algal blend. And that's coming from the strainers here. So strainers, they mostly give you sand and sometimes clay, but the sand can be turned into clay just by washing it. So I've got a fan back there, and the water there, so the sand comes down, gets turned into clay, and then it'll pop out onto here. I don't have a belt system set up here because it kind of moves a bit too fast. I could put a filter in there, which we'll go over in a minute, but this is how I originally set it up, so I've just kind of left it the way it is for now. And we'll see. Oh, yeah, I'm getting the clay into my inventory, so I'll just throw it back into the system there. So yes, once the clay and the kelp go through the mixer, it turns into the algal blend. They go over here and they actually hop over this one bearing right here into my, and I grabbed it out of the air again, so it is what it is. But this is again is just a fan blowing through lava to do the cooking of the algal blend. So this is where we get into filtering, because I've got the belt there. It moves it along a little bit faster than it takes to actually cook before it gets to this point. So if we use drawers, and I'll just show you drawers quickly, is you don't make them the normal way. They're made with trim and a stone cutter again. So that's why in the first episode I said you really want to get a smithing table and you really want to get a stone cutter when you're doing your initial exploration, so that you can get these things. So the oak trim is made just with a couple of zinc and some wood, and then what you do is you put these into the stone cutter and you can get all of your drawers. So regular drawers, 2x1s, 2x2s, all of the good stuff is in there. So, and you even get the templates that way as well if you want to make the upgrades, or the drawer key for locking it down, which you do have to do. So you've got to lock this drawer to the algal brick, and then you're going to put another funnel on there, and then the algal brick comes along where it's going into another mixer where it combines with the andesite. So to get andesite, it tells you right in here, you have to put drills on a lava or a cobblestone generator, but the cobblestone generator actually has to be over top of bedrock. So if you see here on bedrock, lava and water, it's not just ice, but it's water on top of bedrock, will get you andesite, as well as some other ones. So I'll take you down to where I've got that all set up in the down at bedrock. Alright, so down here is my setup for making the andesite. So, and I don't have it encased in glass because it's actually kind of ugly and not very optimally set up. I've got found a better setup watching somebody out there on the YouTube, so I might switch it around later, because looking at the system there, I'm out of andesite, and that seems to be holding up the system right now. But yeah, we can remake that there. But I found a place where it's exactly like this. There's 4 exactly like that. So I put my bearing down there with some chassis on top and a drill, and it will break all 4. It's just that doing it that way with these waterlogged stairs, and then the lava coming down from the top of the system. So they've got the 2 drills, and then the portable interface and the storage on the second level, and then those go around and around. But that pouring down over there makes a big mess, and also is kind of cumbersome as well. I've got my water set up down here for providing the power, and then some chain gear shifts here just to kind of increase the speed, because it is going pretty slow. So I should do something about that, but like I said, I didn't know where bottlenecks would be, but this is one of them, so I'm going to have to increase this here. So then we go into a filtering system. So a 2x2 drawer here, that's locked to diorite, granite, gabbro, and regular cobblestone, because the way this is set up, I am getting regular cobble when it forms over the dark stone. And then with a chute, dropping all the contents into lava, because otherwise this will get filled up. If you want any of that stone, then you just kind of got to siphon that off into a storage system, but I don't want any of it for right now, so I don't have it there. And then I've got a regular 1x1 drawer there, so the funnel going in there and out there, and then just belts taking it over to my system for getting it up to the top, which is just a bubble elevator. So this is why I needed to go to the nether to get soul sand to make the bubble elevator, to take that all the way up to the top. And then at the top there, I've just got one of these funnels upside down, or actually on the bottom of a chest that you saw there, and it takes it up to it takes it up into the system there to go into the mixer to get mixed with the algal brick, which then forms the andesite alloy, which goes into our deployer setup. So I did show you in the beginner's guide, you should get this manually set up even before you get to this stage of automation, just because it is so much cheaper to make your kinetic mechanisms. So having your deployers with a belt and basically just a chest to provide some planks manually, and then feeding these manually with andesite alloy. But in the automated system, we've got a chest there. Double chest has to be, because we need 2 outputs, because each of these have to have andesite alloys with chutes on them. And as the andesite comes up, it'll get put into this mixer here and then come off there as the andesite alloys, and then they get brought up here, and that goes into the system. Now, to make our planks, we need the wood farm, which I did with a rail system. So I'm showcasing all 3 different kinds of ways you can set up your contraptions here. So windmill base setup there. I've got the regular rotary chassis down at the bottom. Mechanical bearing based one, and then the card assembler is the other one. Pretty cheap to make this. You just put down your card assembler, put a card in there, and you'll need a redstone signal at some point. Then you get your chassis on there. You'll need deployers. These will replant the saplings for you, so you just make sure you get the saplings into the filter there, and it'll take it from the storage and refill them as needed, and then the overflow will go down your line. And then 2 mechanical saws here. And I've got a pretty modest small setup here, just because I knew that wood is definitely not the limiting factor in this system at all. So then that goes, my storage connector there. What do we call these things? Portable storage interface with a chute going down onto the belt. Takes it down into my sorting system. So I've got a 2x2 there with saplings, sticks, and apples. Could probably, saplings and sticks seem to be coming off at the same pace there. So could set the 4th one to be either one of those. Not really sure at this point what it'll be. And then this one I got siphoning off some planks, just so I have planks whenever I need them. And then we've got our saws. So saws take the logs, make stripped logs in the first one, then planks to the second one. And then when you put planks in there, make sure you've got your filter, like I explained in the first one. Otherwise, you'll get all sorts of garbage coming out of this saw if you don't have your filter there into this 3rd filter. So even if you do get garbage there, it's not going to go in there and clog up your system. And then you can come back and fix it later. But there, and then, got the planks coming into the system. And even though it's not working that fast, here I've got a stack, or almost a half a chest full of these things here already. Diamond saw in here. It's going down a little bit, so we'll have to manually add in saws now and again, and we'll have to manually add in the strainers when these run out. So this one's got 67, this should be about 68, 73, a little bit more, because I added this 2nd strainer in when I realized that clay was the original bottleneck to everything. And is it right now? It is again, because here we've got, can I see it please? 16 kelp in there, but the clay is not coming out fast enough, so you're not bottlenecked in there anymore. Nope. So we might have to add more strainers to get that working. And then I also already know that this is where my Andesite comes up here. So this is at the top of my bubble column with that funnel on the bottom of the chest. So that's the other bottleneck there, is getting more stone. So yeah, and this is super ugly. There's some really good YouTube guys out there. Rage Plays Games playthrough of this pack. The contraptions that he puts together are just mind-blowing. Of course, he seems to be an expert in Create, so he really does know what he's doing. And then if you want a super efficient, super productive setup, then check out Polart. That's Polart. His playthrough there, he's making something like thousands of these kinetic mechanisms an hour with his setup. Of course, he's got a much bigger one, and that is what it is. But yeah, a couple of suggestions there. And then the one I like for a little bit more casual playthrough was Dad's Guide. He's doing a really good series there, but he's also got an SMP he's playing, so his content's a little bit mixed. But yeah, he's doing a pretty decent playthrough and explaining things really well, which is where I found out the better way to make my andesite generator, which I'll have to fix up later. But anyways, I appreciate you guys checking out the video. Any questions or comments, things that I could do maybe slightly better, especially with all of my bearing spam and belt spam over there, do appreciate it. And then, yeah, I appreciate you all, and we will see you in the next one.